Uber Eats driver.
Lawmakers in Indiana continue to aggressively pursue the Bears and their plans for a new stadium.
And taking a live look outside this morning, Mike says we'll see plenty of sunshine today, but it won't help the temperatures much.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday. I'm Gabriela Primus.
I'm Anthony Ponce. Good morning, everybody. Let's head straight over to Mike. And that sunrise looks like it promises good things today.
Yeah. Our dawn looking good out there. We're going to see plenty of sunshine today. Yesterday, I will admit, it was a temperature disappointment in my book. I was outside with the dog yesterday afternoon, and she wanted to stay out there longer. I'm like, it is too darn windy, Reagan. We're going in. It won't be as windy today, but temperatures are going to be chilly. Mid-30s for a high, but with the sunshine and less wind, probably going to feel a little bit nicer than it did yesterday. Lots of sun at 9, 29, sunny but chilly at noon, just above freezing. We'll be in the mid-30s at 4 o'clock. Still plenty of sunshine. Gabrielle, still on traffic detail. Any slowdowns yet?
Mike, it looks like we just have a stalled semi, but it is blocking a lane over on the inbound side of the Dan Ryan near 35th Street, so be aware of that, creating a little bit of stop-and-go traffic. And then we have some stop-and-go already building on the Bishop Ford there as you approach 95th, but once you get to the Dan Ryan, like I said, around 25 minutes from 95th to the Byrne interchange, 25 as well in the Stevenson. Let's call it the same for the Eisenhower, just under 30 minutes on the Kennedy from O'Hare to downtown. President Trump delivered his State of the Union address, making a pitch to Americans for why the country is on the right track.
The address comes just months before voters go back to the polls for the midterm elections. Brian here in studio with a recap for us. Brian?
Well, it was the longest State of the Union address in American history and the first official State of the Union of the president's second term. The speech covered a wide range of topics, with President Trump praising his administration's border and tariff policies and criticizing Democrats for their opposition. The president pausing frequently, prompting standing ovations for Republicans in the chamber.
Nation is back. Bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before. My administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward. Our enemies are scared, our military and police are stacked, and America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
And it was a packed House gallery for the president's address with a number of special guests, including the gold medal winning U.S. men's hockey team. Now, dozens of Democrats boycotted last night's speech as well. Anthony?
Okay, Brian, thank you. And following the president's address, the Democratic Party aired their rebuttal. It was delivered by Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger. She says the American people did not hear the truth from the president.
Because since this president took office last year, his reckless trade policies have forced American families to pay more than $1,700 each in tariff costs. Small businesses have suffered, farmers have suffered, some losing entire markets. Everyday Americans are paying the price.
Governor Pritzker is responding to last night's State of the Union address. He says, quote, after spending the last year wreaking havoc on American communities, Donald Trump once again spewed lies and attempted to gaslight the American people. We endured 2 hours of baseless claims, shameless propaganda, and the ramblings of a wannabe dictator outlining his plans to steal American elections. Illinois will keep standing for the truth and work to hold this president and his administration accountable.
Texas Democrat Al Green was escorted out of the chamber just minutes after the speech started. He was holding a sign that read, "Black people aren't apes," in reference to a video the president posted on Truth Social. Representative Green was kicked out of the president's joint address to Congress last year as well.
A woman is now been charged in a hit and run that killed an Uber Eats driver.
It happened earlier this week on the city's west side. Our Say Kwan joins us live. Good morning, Say.
Hey, good morning to you. Yeah, Chicago police told us overnight that a Maywood woman is now facing murder and vehicular hijacking charges after allegedly hitting and killing an Uber Eats driver near Loretto Hospital. Police tell us this woman here, 33-year-old Montoya Perry, was arrested about 10 hours after she stole an Uber Eats driver's car and hit him before taking off. That Uber Eats driver was Daniel Figueroa, a 28-year-old man from Downers Grove. He was found unresponsive just after 2 a.m. on Monday near Flournoy Street in the South Austin neighborhood. He was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Perry is scheduled to make her first court appearance here at the Layton Criminal Courthouse later this morning. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Say, for that report. 2 daycare employees in Des Plaines are facing charges. They're accused of abusing children they're supposed to care for. Jessica Murillo and Isabella Thompson worked with a Mother's Touch daycare. Police say they physically abused 7 children in November. The children were reportedly 4 and 5 years old at the time. Investigators say Murillo hit a child in the face with a notebook and dragged another child across the floor by his foot. Another child was struck multiple times with an open hand. None of the victims suffered serious injuries. Murillo and Thompson have each been charged with battery.
Downers Grove police are releasing body cam video showing officers questioning and arresting the 19-year-old accused in the murder of a pregnant woman. The footage is just hours after the attack that happened January 26th. Nadis Ravukas is accused of stabbing 30-year-old Eliza Morales dozens of times and then setting her and her home on fire.
I want to let you know, though, that there was a fire at that building. Are you aware of that?
No.
No, we're not worried.
Put your hands behind your back.
You're under arrest, okay?
This all stemmed from a sale on Facebook Marketplace. Ravukas is due back in court March 3rd.
Indiana lawmakers are advancing a bill to bring the Bears across state lines. The bill funds the construction of a new stadium for the team in Hammond. Since the bill was amended in committee, it still needs approval by the Indiana State Senate and then signed by Governor Mike Braun to go into effect. Indiana's legislative session ends on Friday. 3 Republican candidates are vying for governor of Illinois. They were part of our Chicago Report debate series. They talked about the ongoing battle over our new Bears stadium.
Do you support Illinois legislation that would give the Bears the ability to negotiate their property tax rates with the municipality?
I don't. I think right now we have the highest property taxes in the country. People are just getting destroyed, whether southern Illinois, central Illinois, or even on the west side where they were burning their property tax bills. We should do all the public infrastructure that's fair and necessary that the public benefits from to support a stadium, but we shouldn't give the Bears anything, and we certainly should not give them breaks. But I love the Bears. I want them here.
So, yes, I have a diverse opinion than my opponent. I believe we should be keeping the Bears, and I think if we can get a stadium, especially a dome stadium, we'll get Super Bowls, we can do UFCs, concerts, pay-per-views.
Bears have every right to own their own stadium. They have 326 acres in Arlington Heights that they bought 3 years ago. I say that if I was governor, that stadium would be half built right now. What we're doing is we have a city inside of a city with 326 acres. It's so much more than a huge dome. And we get the Super Bowl, hundreds of millions of dollars coming of economic growth to our region.
Make sure you join us tonight at 6 for our debate series finale. A 2-part debate will feature 6 Democrats running for the 9th District congressional seat. You can also watch it back online as well on Fox Local.
Okay,
right.
6:08. It's Mike Kaplan time, everybody. Sunny outside? Yes.
Sun on the way. Sun on the way. Well, yeah, it looks just like my arm. I have some watches and I wear them every once in a while. I used to wear a watch all the time. Now everything's on the phone.
Everything's on the phone.
Yeah. And you had the watch guy on.
That's right.
Show.
He outfitted the U.S. curling team.
I love that
local
stuff.
company.
All right, we have a day today that's going to have more sunshine, less wind, and temperatures, I think, on the cold side, we're not going to feel that bad. The sun angle's getting higher now, and it feels pretty good when the sun's out. This would be, I think, a good day to go through the old car wash. We have some ups and downs with the temperatures, though, over the next few days. Get the car washed if you don't mind. A big but brief warm-up is on the way Friday. Talking mid, maybe even upper 50s on the way. But then it's a quick shot of cold air this weekend with chances for snow. Right now, it's clear, 28 at O'Hare. We have a west wind at 10, so that's enough to create a wind chill, what it feels like on your skin, of 19. We will see temperatures climbing only a handful of degrees from what you have here. Mid-30s on the way. 26 now at Woodstock, 23 at Aurora, Joliet, 28. Kankakee, one of the colder spots with 22. Northwest Indy, Valparaiso 27, 25 at Rensselaer, and it is 28 degrees at Gary. Headed for the mid, maybe a couple of upper 30s this afternoon. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Mike. This one's getting a lot of buzz online. A judge is ruling against the city of Chicago over parking and city sticker violations. We'll have the details coming up next.
Welcome back. A woman is facing charges after an Uber Eats driver was carjacked, then hit and killed with his own vehicle.
Police arrested 33-year-old Montoya Perry. It happened early Monday morning near Loretto Hospital. She's due in court later today, facing charges of murder and car hijacking.
2 daycare employees in Des Plaines are facing charges. They're accused of abusing children that they're supposed to be caring for. Jessica Murillo and Isabella Thompson worked with a Mother's Touch daycare. Police say they physically abused 7 children in November. These children were reportedly 4 and 5 years old at the time.
Indiana lawmakers are advancing a bill to bring the Bears across state lines. The bill funds the construction of a new stadium for the team in Hammond. Since the bill was amended in committee, it still needs approval by the Indiana State Senate and then signed by Governor Mike Braun to go into effect.
Tommy Schaefer, the former boyfriend of Heather Mack, has been released from prison in Bali. The Tribune says he is now heading to Chicago, where he will be in court tomorrow. He was sentenced to 18 years in prison for murdering Mack's mother, Sheila Van Wees Mack, back in 2014 in Bali. Heather Mack, her daughter, was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but was released in 2021 after serving 7 years for good behavior. She was deported back to the U.S., and as soon as she landed in Chicago, she was arrested. And she was charged with conspiracy to murder and was sentenced to 26 years in prison. This is back in 2024. The U.S. State Department is working to get Americans in Mexico back home. A wave of violence has rocked that country following the takedown of Jalisco's drug lord El Mencho. Right now, shelter-in-place advisories still remain in effect for Americans in that tourist destination of Puerto Vallarta and some nearby areas. Most flights remain suspended as well, but the White House says no Americans have been hurt or killed.
24 days after Nancy Guthrie disappeared from her Arizona home, her family is offering a large new reward for her return. They're offering a $1 million reward for information leading to the return of their mother. Savannah Guthrie shared a new video acknowledging that while they remain hopeful, their family realizes the search for their mother may not end with the rescue.
She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves. If this is what is to be, then we will accept it. But we need to know where she is. We need her to come home.
Savannah Guthrie also announced her family would be donating $500,000 to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Chicago might be facing a big financial hit. A judge says that the city has overcharged people for city stickers and for parking tickets, and now the city owes millions of dollars. Residents could see collectively $70 million in refunds. And it all started with one resident, that man right there, Kyle Garchar, says he racked up fines of $1,600, all because of 4 city sticker violations. He is one of 2 plaintiffs in a lawsuit against the city over parking sticker violations. Tickets turned into debt because of late fees. A judge says it went too far and ruled that the city violated state law by charging penalties that exceeded a $250 cap on municipal fines.
Make no mistake, this practice has harmed the most vulnerable people in the city. End of story. And it's spanned now 3 different administrations, and not a single one of them has done anything about it.
The judge's ruling impacts more than 1 million tickets that have been issued between 2012 and 2022. It also wiped out nearly $94 million in unpaid fines and fees that have not been collected.
3 firefighters were named lifesavers in Cary after rescuing 2 people who fell through the ice on Lake Killarney last month. Darlene Botine and her son Nathan went out ice fishing when they fell through. 2 off-duty firemen who are brothers came running from their house to help. A third neighbor went into the water too and brought a ladder. Ben and Cody Delatorre didn't have rescue gear with them, only an extension cord to provide a tether.
I do it the same way. With anybody, I do it the same way. Same, coming from home, going right out there. With his extension cord or not, I still would have went out there and tried to pull him out.
I was there first, and I saw them both in the water, and I was like, well, luckily I got my extension cord, and then I saw my brother coming up the street in his truck. I'm like, oh, I got another person here with me.
Firefighter Kyle Ochab arrived in his dive gear to complete the save. The firefighters' names are inscribed on a plaque, the award given for a life-saving rescue.
Very nice work, gentlemen. Okay, a 7-year-old girl, meantime, being honored by the city of Linwood for saving her father's life. Last month, there she is. Mia Dates was at home with her dad, Xavier, when he lost his footing on the stairs, hit his head, and then lost consciousness. Mia, she ran to the phone and called 911.
911, emergency.
No. My dad fell down the stairs. His leg hurt. His leg and his arm hurt.
Mia stayed on the line with that dispatcher until paramedics arrived. She was honored at last night's village board meeting. Very impressive.
Mia didn't miss a beat.
Not at all. I'm like, my kid's older than that. I hope he has her kind of knowledge and being calm and collected and doing the exact right thing. Mike,
Theo's going to be like, all right, Dad, what's this 911 call worth to you?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how smart he is.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to play you. He's going to play you. Look at the Northeast, you guys. It is snowing there again. Maybe an inch or 2 of accumulation showing up here. Let's walk over and look at the radar view. But, you know, after digging out from 2 to 3 feet of snow, the last thing you want is more snow, and it's coming down out there. Locally, I'm going to switch from radar here to satellite imagery because there's a little thin area of cloud cover coming out of Wisconsin. Can you see this little area right in there? That will sneak in here the next couple of hours. Otherwise, it's perfect sunshine. Storm track is going to miss us to the south, which means that today you'll see a lot of sunshine. Temperature is a little bit below average, but with sun and less wind, I think it ends up feeling nicer this afternoon than it did yesterday when it was so darn windy out there. Wow. Look at the 7-day forecast. We have a big warm up for a day. Tomorrow, not bad, 42 degrees. If you are way south, I'm talking Illinois River Valley, You might see a snowflake or two. That's it. You're not going to be shoveling tomorrow. 55, though, on Friday, but it's a quick warm-up. Look at the temperatures coming down as we head into the first weekend of March. On Sunday, light snow is likely with a high of 32, and we'll keep temperatures a little colder than normal with a chance of some mixed precip here on Tuesday. Traffic time. Let's see where those slowdowns are. Gabriella.
Mike, I just want to, before I talk about these drive times here, I want to talk about a crash that's over in Englewood. It's 63rd and Wentworth Avenue. It involves just 2 vehicles, but they're heavily damaged. So crews are over there trying to clean this up. Know that you might see a little more traffic in that area. Speaking of traffic, a little more here on the Dan Ryan. Right after you pass 95th there, well, it starts on the Bishop Ford. It looks like around 111th all the way to 95th, and it's a 35-minute drive from 95th to the Byrne Interchange. Under 30 minutes on the Stevenson for 355 to DuSable Lakeshore Drive. At 30 minutes on the Eisenhower. Let's call it the same on the Kennedy from O'Hare to downtown. Anthony.
Okay, thank you, Gabby. We're hearing from Bears head coach Ben Johnson and trade talks surrounding one of their quarterbacks, Tyson Bagent.
One brief visit.
Welcome back, 6:23 as the sun comes up on your Wednesday morning. Going to be a sunny one, cool outside though, cold even. We'll check in with Mike in just a minute. All right, part of President Trump's State of the Union speech was about affordability and utility bills.
During his address, the president said his administration told major tech companies that they have to build their own power plants for their data centers. He believes it will help protect Americans from high energy bills. We know that residents in Northwest Indiana have told Fox Chicago about their issues with high utility bills from NIPSCO. Our own Brett Bugansky spoke with a Hamlet, Indiana resident who wrote a letter to the president regarding this issue.
The message was to please get a hold of Governor Braun and to have him listen to what we are trying to say and that we are desperately looking for help. I told President Trump that, how high our bills have gotten and that we've had a 90% increase in the past 10 years and people just can't afford it anymore. I explained how people are struggling to get groceries or pay their NIPSCO bill, pay their rent, pay their NIPSCO bill. And that is something that we shouldn't have to do. This isn't the Depression era. We shouldn't be living like this.
Some NIPSCO customers tell Fox Chicago most of their recent bills were around $500. Warner Brothers Discovery is receiving a revised offer from Paramount Skydance. Warner Brothers says Paramount has raised the price of its takeover offer to $31 per share. This potentially sets the stage for a fresh bidding war with Netflix over the future of the Hollywood giant. Paramount's offer had previously stood at $30 per share since September.
The director of the Louvre Museum in Paris has officially resigned. Lawrence Descartes is stepping down months after that stunning crown jewels heist. French President Emmanuel Macron accepted her resignation. Descartes offered to resign the day of the robbery itself after thieves stole tens of millions of dollars worth of jewels in less than 8 minutes back in October. Her request was initially refused by the culture minister. All right, we're hearing from Bears head coach Ben Johnson and GM Ryan Poles. They're down in Indianapolis for the NFL Combine. They said they have been getting calls from other teams about the availability of a backup quarterback by the name of Tyson Bagent. Ben Johnson had good things to say about Bagent.
A phenomenal football player, first and foremost. He's a fierce competitor, which I think that's really how that whole room is wired. I think Caleb's the same way. Like these guys, they want to go out there, compete, have the ball in their hands.
The Bears picked 25th overall in the first round of the draft. Ryan Poles says they will take the best player available. Mike, I'm not surprised other teams are kind of inquiring about Mr. Bagent there. He's performed well.
He has done nothing but look good when he has played for the Bears, whether it's been in preseason games or filling it in during the regular season. And he's worth something. He is worth something. So good luck to him regardless of how things turn out. We have a day that's going to feature a lot of sunshine, but there are some low clouds trying to at least briefly sneak in from north of the Cheddar Curtain. We'll look at those and look ahead to a big warm-up coming up.
Noon. 6:29. Welcome back to Good Day Chicago here on your Wednesday morning. We appreciate you starting your day with us.
Yes, we are. Here are some of the top stories that we're following this morning. President Trump sets a record with his State of the Union address as he covered his administration's accomplishments.
A woman is facing charges after a deadly carjacking involving an Uber Eats driver.
Lawmakers in Indiana continue to aggressively pursue the Bears and their plans for a new stadium.
All right, we'll get to those stories in just a minute, but first, let's check in with Mike. Nice little sunrise in effect.
Is that the actual sun poking up there?
Yeah, I think so.
It is.
I think it is. So sunrise now, right at 6:30. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting earlier and earlier. Do you realize there are only 4 days left of meteorological winter? How about that?
Really?
4 days left. But that doesn't mean that we can't have some wintry weather in the meantime, and even going into March. You know the deal. Out there today, you're going to see a lot of sunshine. Now, there is a little thin area of some low clouds coming out of Wisconsin. Those will cross the area here later this morning, but then scoot on out so that we have a good amount of sunshine on the way. Temperatures are going to hit 36 for the high, a little colder than normal for this time of year, but with sunshine, less wind, I don't think it's going to feel too bad out there. Right now, most of our temperatures are in the 20s, 28 at Midway and O'Hare, 23 at Aurora and DeKalb, Woodstock, Morris 25, and 27s, Michigan City, Valparaiso, and Merrillville. Let's get you that traffic check. Gabriella, any big slowdowns yet?
Mike, no major slowdowns, but we are a bit heavier than normal on the Dan Ryan from 95th to the Byrne interchange, around 30 minutes. 30 minutes as well on the Stevenson from 355 to DuSable Lakeshore Drive, up to 35 minutes on the Eisenhower, as well as on the Kennedy from O'Hare to downtown. One note for you, if you're taking a train, Forest Park bound Blue Line trains are standing in Clinton, so this is for the L. Crews are working to restore service, so please be aware of that. Again, Forest Park bound Blue Line trains are standing at Clinton. Anthony.
Okay, Gabby, thank you very much. It was a late night in the nation's capital as President Trump delivered the longest State of the Union address in the country's history.
Now, many Democrats did not attend, staging their own events in protest. Doug Luzader joins us from Washington. Doug, big question for you, but what's the reaction this morning to President Trump's address?
Well, look, the president went on for a long time last night. This was, as he advertised, a long speech. And it was the typical mix that you see in a State of the Union address. It's tough to have a real theme for these things because they end up just being catch-alls. But the president got into a lot of domestic issues, including the economy, inflation. I mean, this is bread and butter stuff heading into the midterm elections later this year. And he's certainly trying to lay some solid groundwork for Republicans to try to defend both the House and the Senate. Got into some foreign policy, talking about Venezuela and Iran and settling conflicts around the world and so on. But for the most part, this was really limited to domestic issues. I mean, this is the kind of thing that the White House really needs to focus on as the president's approval numbers have been sagging recently.
Doug, we understand one lawmaker had to be removed during the address. I understand there was some back and forth with some other vocal Democrats who were in the audience. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, you know, heckling used to be kind of rare for a State of the Union address, and now it's becoming common, and it happened several times through the course of the speech last night.
And there's a representative from Texas being removed. What happened there leading to his ejection from the chamber?
Representative Al Green?
Yes.
Yeah, he was booted. He was booted about 6 minutes in, holding up a sign and so on. It's the second time that he's been removed from a State of the Union address.
Doug, let's talk about what's next on President Trump's agenda. Is it to follow up on his tariff policy, negotiations with Iran, or is it something else entirely? Probably, you know, all of this plus more.
What's he going to do next? Yeah, you know, it's all those things. You know, the president is still pushing for an Iran deal. They're still, of course, you know, dealing with domestic issues. You know, the president's talking about trying to lower costs, you know, bring gas prices down even further. You know, it's kind of across the board like the speech last night.
All right, Doug Luzader in the rotunda for us. Thank you very much, sir, and we'll have more on the Democratic rebuttal to that speech later in the newscast. We appreciate it, Doug. 6:33, a woman is facing charges after an Uber Eats driver was carjacked, then hit and killed with his own vehicle. Police arrested 33-year-old Montoya Perry. Happened early Monday morning right near Loretto Hospital. She is due in court later today. She will face charges of murder and vehicular hijacking.
Two daycare employees in Des Plaines are facing charges. They're accused of abusing children they're supposed to care for. Jessica Murillo and Isabella Thompson worked with a Mother's Touch daycare. Police say they physically abused 7 children in November. The children were reportedly 4 and 5 years old at the time. Investigators say Murillo hit one child in the face with a notebook and dragged another child across the floor by his foot. Another child was struck multiple times with an open hand. None of the victims suffered serious injuries. Murillo and Thompson have each been charged with battery.
Downers Grove police are releasing body cam video showing officers questioning then arresting a 19-year-old who was accused in the murder of a pregnant woman. Here's the footage. It was taken just hours after the attack on January 26th. Natus Ravukas is accused of stabbing 30-year-old Eliza Morales dozens of times and then setting her and her home on fire.
I want to let you know, though, that there was a fire at that building. Are you aware of that?
No.
No. You're not worried.
Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest, okay?
It all stemmed from a sale on Facebook Marketplace. Ravukas is due back in court March 3rd.
Indiana lawmakers are advancing a bill to bring the Bears across state lines. The bill funds the construction of a new stadium for the team in Hammond. Since the bill was amended in committee, it still needs approval by the Indiana State Senate and then signed by Governor Mike Braun to go into effect. Indiana's legislative session ends on Friday. 6:35. Even looking at that view from Skyfox, it just looks a little bit more like spring, Mike.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It is coming. And meteorological spring starts on Sunday. We only have a few more days of meteorological winter. And today it's going to feel a little bit wintry out there, despite the fact we'll have a good deal of sunshine. Getting the kids ready for school today. Send them off with the winter coats again. It's going to be another chilly day. Maybe on Friday they can get away with a lighter variety jacket. 33 at noon, sunny but chilly, but at least it'll stay sunny throughout the day. 3 o'clock for that ride home. Should be close to our high for the day of 36 degrees. Right now, 28 at O'Hare and Midway, also at Gary. 30 at Chicago's lakefront, a little bit colder west. Aurora 23, DeKalb also 23, and out in Rockford it is 24. Valparaiso, skies are clear in 27. Wind chills. We have readings ranging from 9 at DeKalb to some low 20s. Most of the area feeling like it's in the teens. And so, I mean, it's another cold morning out there. Don't kid yourself. There is just a little thin stripe of cloud cover, and it's low stratus cloudiness coming out of southern Wisconsin. That will be in our sky early this morning and then move on out. The next storm system is going to track to our south, meaning it is not going to impact the Chicago area. Today, 36 degrees for the high, but with sunshine, it may not feel all that bad out there. Tonight, mainly clear with a low of 22. 7-day forecast has a 50-something in it. I'll be happy to share that. The weekend number's not so hot, literally and figuratively.
Thank you, Mike. All right, the former boyfriend of Heather Mack has been released from prison in Bali and heading to Chicago. We'll have the details coming up. Welcome back. It is 6:40 on the dot. Taking a live look at the planetarium there. You see the sun rising earlier and earlier. We're getting closer to that warmer weather, people. Mike will have an update with your forecast soon.
I wish we could just stay on that shot for a while. Unfortunately, we got some news to get to on the serious side of things. Tommy Schaefer, he is the former boyfriend of Heather Mack. This story goes back years. He has now been released from prison in Bali. The Tribune says he is now heading to Chicago, where he will be in court tomorrow. He was sentenced to 18 years in prison for murdering Mack's mother, Sheila Von Wiesmack, back in Bali back in 2014. Heather Mack, Sheila's daughter, was sentenced to 10 years in prison. She was released in 2021 after serving 7 years. She got out early for good behavior. As soon as she got off the plane, though, after being deported back here to the U.S., she was arrested right when she landed. And she was then charged with conspiracy to murder and then sentenced once again to 26 years in prison in 2024. We'll keep you posted on what happens with Tommy Schaefer when he lands here in the U.S. The U.S. State Department, meantime, working to get Americans in Mexico back home after this wave of violence that has been rocking the country after the takedown of Jalisco's drug lord El Mencho. Right now, shelter-in-place advisories, they remain in effect for Americans in that tourist destination of Puerto Vallarta and nearby areas. Most flights remain suspended as well, but the White House says fortunately no Americans have been hurt or killed.
24 days after Nancy Guthrie disappeared from her Arizona home, her family is offering a large new reward for her return. They're offering a $1 million reward for information leading to the return of their mother. Savannah Guthrie shared a new video acknowledging that while they remain hopeful, their family realizes the search for their mother may not end with her rescue.
May have already gone home to the Lord that she loves. And if this is what is to be, then we will accept it. But we need to know where she is. We need her to come home.
Savannah Guthrie also announced her family would be donating $500,000 to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
A 7-year-old girl from Linwood is getting some big-time recognition after she saved her dad's life. We will tell you how she reacted when there was an emergency in their home. Stay with us.
series tonight at 6.
Welcome back, 6:45. Look at that sun. It's going to be a nice one out there. A little cold, but beautiful. We'll check in with Mike in a moment. All right, a woman is facing charges after an Uber Eats driver was carjacked and then hit and killed with his own vehicle.
Police arrested 33-year-old Montoya Perry. It happened early Monday morning near Loretto Hospital. She's due in court later today, facing charges of murder and vehicular hijacking.
2 daycare employees in Des Plaines are facing charges. They're each accused of abusing children that they were supposed to be caring for. Jessica Murillo and Isabella Thompson worked with a Mother's Touch daycare. Police say they physically abused 7 children back in November. The children were reportedly 4 and 5 years old at the time.
Indiana lawmakers are advancing a bill to bring the Bears across state lines. The bill funds the construction of a new stadium for the team in Hammond. Since the bill was amended in committee, it still needs approval by the Indiana State Senate and signed by Governor Mike Braun to go into effect. 6:46, we're looking forward to Friday for more than one reason. Some warmer temperatures, Mike Kaplan.
50s, and I mean way into the 50s. I'm only going 55. If I know Caitlin, when she starts her shift, she's probably going to go 58. That's going to be my guess. Let's see.
Okay.
I predict that Caitlin goes above my number, which is kind of rare. Usually, I have the highest temperatures of our crew here. We'll see. Here's the deal for today. There's a little thin area of some low clouds coming out of southern Wisconsin. Those will press through the area here later this morning and then move on out. I think the day is going to end up mostly sunny. And with that sunshine, look, the sun's getting higher and higher in the sky, and that means that the rays are more direct. So when it is sunny and it's not windy, it doesn't feel too bad out there, even when the air temperatures are kind of on the cold side like they will be today. Tonight, storm system misses us to the south. We will be clear to partly cloudy overnight. Then during the day tomorrow, mixture of clouds and sun with that storm system staying largely away. And I think tomorrow's temperatures will be several degrees warmer than today, but just not as warm as what we have on tap for Friday. Friday is going to be a perfectly sunny day here. It won't be super windy, maybe a little bit blustery, but the southwest winds driving temperatures way into the 50s here. Today, 36, mostly sunny. West winds 8 to 18. Tonight down to 22. It's going to be a cold night. Clear to partly cloudy skies. 7-day forecast, a 1-day spike, and then we go into the tank over the weekend with highs in the 30s both days and a chance for a couple of snows in there. And temperatures stay a little colder than normal into next week with a chance for some mixed precip on Thursday. Back to you both.
All right, thank you, Mike. Let's take a look at our travel times here, and it makes sense why the Dan Ryan's a little extra heavy because we're still dealing with this stalled semi. It's blocking a right shoulder and partially that right lane on the inbound side in the local lanes before 35th Street. I reported this about an hour ago. It looks like it's still there. Hopefully not blocking that right lane anymore, more on the right shoulder than blocking both. Also on the Stevenson, you see it's at almost 40 minutes right now. It's because of an inbound crash. It looks like it's near Cicero, and it involves 2 vehicles. They're now over on the left shoulder. Was blocking a left lane there for a while, but your traffic starts a little extra early at First Avenue all the way to around, again, Cicero after you get past that crash there. Your drive time for the Eisenhower, 40 minutes from Route 390 to the Old Post Office and 40 minutes on the Kennedy from O'Hare to downtown. All right, stay with us. Much more Good Day is on the way.
today.
Hey, here's some exciting news. An old hotel on the south side is getting new life. The Hotel Florence is at 111th and Forestville Avenue in Pullman. It is part of the larger Pullman National Historic Park. It was built in 1881 and named after George Pullman's daughter. The state took it over in 1991. Governor Pritzker talked about the future plans for the hotel.
Boutique hotel rooms, fine restaurants and dining, a world-class performing arts venue and event space. Hotel Florence will again become a destination for visitors, whether they're coming from down the street or anywhere around the world.
A developer has been chosen and a women-owned architecture firm. They both have connections to Pullman. Construction is expected to start in March of 2027.
A 7-year-old girl, this is impressive. She is being honored by the city of Linwood for saving her dad's life. This happened last month. Mia Dates, 7 years old, was at home with her dad, Xavier. He lost his footing on the stairs. He hit his head and he lost consciousness. Mia ran, got his phone, and called 911.
911, where's the emergency?
No. My dad fell down the stairs. His leg hurt. His leg and his arm hurt.
Mia stayed on the line with that dispatcher until paramedics got there, and she was honored at last night's village board meeting. Very impressive.
Good job, Mia. 3 firefighters were named lifesavers in Cary after rescuing 2 people who fell through the ice on Lake Killarney last month. Darlene Botine and her son Nathan went out ice fishing when they fell through. So 2 off-duty firemen who are brothers came running from their house to help right away. A 3rd neighbor also went into the water too, and he brought a ladder with them. Ben and Cody Delatorre, they didn't have rescue gear with them, only an extension cord to provide a tether.
Do it the same way. With anybody, I do it the same way. Same, coming from home, going right out there. With his extension cord or not, I still would have went out there and tried to pull him out.
I was there first, and I saw them both in the water, and I was like, well, luckily I got my extension cord, and then I saw my brother coming up the street in his truck. I'm like, oh, I got another person here with me.
Eventually, firefighter Kyle Ochab arrived in his dive gear to complete the save. The firefighters' names are inscribed on a plaque, the award given for a life-saving rescue.
All right, we have plenty more to get to here on Good Day Chicago as we kick off our Wednesday. We appreciate you starting your morning with us. We'll be right back after this with our 7 o'clock hour.
Starting soon.
The director of the CIA joined Secretary of State Marco Rubio to brief top lawmakers about the ongoing situation with Iran.
The U.S. currently has the largest number of warships and aircraft carriers in the Middle East in decades. President Trump continues signaling military strikes will happen if the two sides cannot reach a deal on Iran's nuclear program. A new round of talks is set for this week.
A courtroom loss for Charlie Kirk's accused killer yesterday. A Utah judge declined to disqualify the local county attorney's office from prosecuting 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. His defense team argued there was a conflict of interest because the prosecutor's daughter was at the event where Kirk was killed. Prosecutors plan to seek the death penalty against Robinson, who has not yet entered a plea.
The bill to prevent mid-air collisions fails on the House floor. Then TSB has been urging for automatic dependent surveillance broadcasts to be installed on planes for nearly 2 decades. The bill would have made it mandatory for aircrafts to have a system that can receive data about the locations of other nearby aircrafts.
Spirit Airlines has reached a deal with lenders to save it from bankruptcy filings. The airline first filed for bankruptcy protection back in November 24 and again in August of last year. The filings were made after Spirit suffered significant losses during the pandemic.